Today I wanted to read for you a couple of essays from my recent retreat with my Chinese teachers to Spain. The first part is entitled Logroño, which is where we went. Logroño. What an astonishing chain reaction. Safe space, deep personal stories, one leads to the next. People see each other opening and open too. Teacher Lu explains how to open the heart and the subconscious. People follow. You see the deep patterns emerge, and at last can make some sense of the nonsense. Or maybe the nonsense has no sense anyway, but we let it go. Empty, yet not empty. Perhaps you needed the pain to help you find the way out of the maze. A life not investigated is a life not worth living. What was the turning point? What was the master key that opened the machine? Oh, common people, how do you manage with such pain? Healing from the subconsciousness can be like a walk across jagged rocks. 2 weeks of hothoused emotions bubbling. And then on the 7th day, there was a massive dip. But we resurfaced, all at different times, all in different ways, broken wings starting to heal. I'm astonished that you can still stand up. I'm astonished that you can walk in this world still. I'm so proud of you. We were told, it's not my pain. It's not my family's expectations. I am not who my lover needs me to be. I am not my story, for God's sakes. I'm not my story. What's left? Can I really be nothing? Can I really be empty? What will my ego think? What will my ego say? What lengths will my ego go to break my heart? Trust, trust, trust. Trust the theory. Trust the practice. Trust that Dr. Pang went through the same fire and lived to tell the tale. No mind anymore. Say goodbye and smile. I wrote a second piece that I would like to follow up with. I've just entitled it Logroño 2, or Why Go on Retreat? Why bother going on retreat at all? All the hassle of travelling to Spain or China or a field in Somerset, is it really worth it? My Chinese teachers speak English pretty well these days. Teacher Lu struggles to understand a long story, that much is true. The theory he delivers is fascinating and really easy to follow, when you get used to his delivery, usually after the first day when you've calmed down and opened up. I have long since decided that these are the teachers I want to follow. They are my masters, although they'd hate it if you called them that. There are plenty of other teachers doing the rounds, many whom I've worked with at one time or another, but I find none to be of such high quality as Lu and Ling. For me, Dr. Pang's Qigong system is head and shoulders above every other type of Qigong I've studied the past 35 years. Many teachers follow this syllabus. Teacher Lu studied Chinese psychology at university and has brought his personal understanding of our mental state and layered it over the Zhneng Qigong system. It enhances everything that Dr. Pang was teaching, and to my mind would have been the closest to Dr. Pang's route were he able to have continued developing it. Qigong was repressed in China for 20 years. Now don't forget, this is all my personal opinion. I suggest that you try other teachers, see who matches your vibration. For me, there's only one route to healing from our subconscious, and only one teacher who really understands how to do that. Teacher Lu. Teacher Ling is an excellent physical teacher. She understands more about the form than most, and all the theory that Teacher Lu uses, she's truly a double threat. She used to be much sharper, but her edges have softened to make her a peerless and thoughtful instructor. Their hearts are as big as watermelons. Their life's work is to teach you how to heal your life. Teacher Lu says, change your mind and change your destiny. It's no small pointer. Even if I've established my claim for their excellence, this still might not make you want to circle the globe to be with them. Sometimes the framework that we live in is the cage that holds us in illness. I remember a client of mine from the Isle of Wight saying to me, "The moment I set foot on the ferry home, I'm able to leave all the stress of the mainland behind me. It's a very healing experience." So too for retreats. Taking oneself out of the norm is a huge gift, and dropping into a safe space where you are warm, fed well, and cared for really will begin the healing process. Hey, there's always a worry about travel, but information is so readily available these days, there's not a step of the way that you can't prepare for. With planning and enough time, any journey can be made simple. What cost your health? Well, a retreat might cost you £1,000 a week. Seems like a lot if you're going for 2 weeks. If you've suffered years of chronic illness, and I offer to help you change the course of your illness and give you a new perspective on your life for £2,000, my bet is that you'd go for it. I can back up the promise by telling you that thousands of other people who have achieved this with my teachers all over the globe do so year after year. How about the lovely lady from Israel who spent many years locked in at home in a wheelchair and afraid to even venture out? Well, I first met her in China. She had spent 5 days with my teachers in Israel and then taken the leap of faith to spend a month with them in China. When I met her, she'd arrived in China in her wheelchair. She'd then cast that off for crutches and was walking briskly now, unaided at all, only after 1 month. I recently re-met her in Spain after 5 years, and we danced together. Most teachers agree that 95% of illness comes from our subconscious. Let's imagine the root of an illness is a scary, drunken father who is violent to you and your mother. You might be tiny, and it might only last a few years, but deep inside your subconscious there's a fear of men, alcohol, and perhaps that you were actually the cause. You battle through school, you stumble through your teenage life with these patterns gently reminding you that life is unsafe or that all men are bastards. This affects who you marry, what job you take, what story you pass to your children. There seems to be a magnetic pull to go to what seems familiar. Then you discover you've married your father. In my example, something from childhood drives every choice we make and then perhaps leads us to our own illness. Chronic illnesses just seem to me like the inability to deal with the horrors or the tedium and the misery of modern life. When it all becomes too much, where do we turn? In the West, our choices seem to be medication to take the edge off life. At least the doctor can give you a diagnosis: cancer, diabetes, heart disease, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis. Now you have a box. You can hide in it, blame the illness for your life. For Zheneng Qigong people, it's different. It becomes an acceptance that many things are not right in our lives, and it helps us to power and change to fix this. Many people don't have the vision or the strength to do this. It's easier to let the system do its best. For us, it's about taking back the responsibility for our own health and our own happiness. Each day on retreat is exhausting to start with. Lectures at 7:30, exercises at 7:30, lectures at 10 a.m, more practice at 11:30, lunch, sleep, blessed sleep until 4 p.m, more discussions in the afternoon, meditations before bed, sleep, blessed sleep again. To begin with, it's overwhelming. Then your body catches the tide and things start to flow. The rhythm carries you along. People tell you their amazing and painful stories. You start to see yourself in what they say. The teachers explain to you how your subconscious pulls off its tricks, which have brought you low, and how to turn the corner. With a little logic and Zheneng Qigong science, you start to see the path out. Things change inside of you as you talk with friends, old and new, and discuss the big thoughts with our teachers. Every stretch, every thought, every bend, every meditation moves you forward, changes your perspective of you. This is what healing really is. Sometimes it comes in a gush, sometimes in a trickle, but the emotions start to flow, and then they're seen and understood for what they are and dealt with appropriately. This is what healing really is. None of this comes in a bottle or a blister pack. Your doctor or psychiatrist can't do this for you. There's only one way. Do it yourself. In the setting of the retreat, there's always somebody to hold you when you falter. There's always an angel who will just say the right thing at the right moment. This is what healing really is. Well, the bump back into daily life can be rough. The decisions you made can be difficult to execute. But you have the cocoon of your practice, now pretty well ingrained into your being, to light you along. Just practice, 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 and know that it will change you at a fundamental level. You can't change other people in your life. You can't change the past. All you can do is reinvent you in the here and now and watch the world change around you as you do so. The resonance of Logroño will ripple through 50 people's lives and their families and friends' lives forever. This extraordinary, beautiful pebble dropped into a still pond will send ripples of healing out through many lives. It's with deep love and affection and thanks that I dedicate this piece to my teachers, Lu and Ling, but also to the wonderful people who made this retreat an astonishing time. I've been working on myself for 35 years and always assume there's nothing left to come up for me. How naive I still am. Fragments of my adoption stick into my heart like broken shards of a smashed mirror. Spending time in this safe, happy space, quietly picking them out, is the best choice I've ever made for myself. Maybe next time there's a retreat going on, you'll be brave enough to face your life and come with me.